everyone, and welcome to another podcast of Alexandra Mayers Live. I am Alex Mayers. This is a little bit of a repeat of a video that I posted yesterday in direct response to someone who tweeted me. I actually deleted the video after I knew that they saw it because I didn't think anyone really cared about the content. But apparently they did because I received an email today from someone claiming to be from Ghana who decided to take it upon themselves to tell me how to live my life. And I don't appreciate that. Now, if you would like to read for yourself the email that I was sent, you can just go to twitter.com/. Alex Mayers Live. I posted it a few minutes ago. But I'm just going to reiterate some thoughts that I shared yesterday in regards to someone that I hadn't thought about in a very long time, known as Shelley Lubben. And for those of you who are not aware, Shelley Lubben is a very well known, very famous anti porn activist. All right. First point, I want to really get into everyone's heads. I am nothing like Shelley Lubben. Comparing me to Shelley Lubben is like comparing night and day. There is nothing that I know of in regards to her life experience that really parallels my life experience, with the exception of the fact that both of us stopped in the American pornographic industry on our life's journey. Okay? That's it. I do not stand for many of the things that Shelley Lubben stood for. Um, I do not think remotely along the lines of Shelley Lubben. So please don't compare me to her. I don't have the same goals and aspirations of helping people like Shelley Lubben did. I have helped some people, but there's other things that I plan to do in my life aside from being an anti-porn activist. And the reason is that I am not an anti-porn activist, at least not in the sense that you would think of me as being, because I am not against pornography as a concept. Pornography as a concept is art, it's artistic expression. When people today talk about the porn industry debate, they're not talking about the actual artistic product in most cases. They are talking about abuse and they are talking about organized crime, which are two things that I am adamantly against and two things that I have fought. But I do not desire to become a part of the anti porn industry, because that's what it is. It is an industry in itself that is dependent upon the porn industry. That's what I learned when it comes to the anti porn movement. Now, there's some people I feel that are an exception to that rule who are supposedly anti porn activists, but that's just not something I want to be involved in. I am an independent investigative blogger in regards to the pornography industry, and I will continue to be just that until I decide of my own volition, of my own free will, not to be anymore. And you want to know why I am? Because it makes me happy. It's a part of who I am. It's something I find interesting. And I will not stop talking about whatever it is that I choose to talk about until I want to. So I hope I've made myself clear on that. Now, in regards to Shelley Lubben, I wish her absolutely no ill will, and not at all. I actually was saying yesterday in the video that I deleted that I wish I had educated myself a little bit more in regards to who she is and what she stood for and the journey that she'd taken prior to opting to participate in a cinematic work by a man known as Ari Bass, aka Michael Whiteacre, which was, in hindsight, as I look back at it, nothing more than a hit piece, a very personal hit piece in form of intimidation and bullying against Shelley Lubben, at least from my perspective as of current. Now, when I look at Shelley Lubben's entire body of work as an anti-porn activist, when I look at the effort she made, and when I consider how kind she was to me, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 having ill intent, 10 being someone who has absolutely good intent, I rate Shelley Lubben an 8. I think that she tried for many years to reach many women. When I met her, as I just stated, she was very kind to me, very supportive. She helped me realize that I matter as a human being and that my words hold value, that my life experience is my story to tell, and that if I see something that I want to speak up about, I shouldn't be afraid to speak up about it. I needed that sort of motivation at that particular time in my life, and that is what Shelley Lubben provided to me. I was never a part of the Pink Cross. I supported the Pink Cross at that particular time, and I'm talking about I think around the year 2011, 2010, 2011. That's when the energy of Shelley Lubben entered my life. Okay, but I was never part of the Pink Cross. I was never really much of a part of anything she did, with the exception of attending a couple of legislative meetings in regards to legislation pertaining to the pornographic industry. But is there any other point I wanted to make about her? My impression of her when I met her, strong woman. I liked her. When I see some of the gossip and just false statements put online about her today, I'm still very surprised as to some of the things that people have had the audacity to say about her, considering quite a bit of good that she did attempt to do. Um, is there anything else I wanted to add? Well, the people who recruited me for that cinematic work that was based on who she is or who they allegedly claim that she is, the people who recruited me for that, I forgive you, but how dare you attempt to recruit someone to act as a human shield or a weapon, even to go after someone else that you don't like? To all the people who are involved in that shit, you're all a bunch of cowards. And again, I forgive you, but I wish I'd never known you. So I hope that concludes everything. Shelley Lubben, if you ever see this and you're out there, I'm doing great. Thank you for the motivation that you were able to bestow upon me to get my life together, way back when. And I hope you're doing well. And I hope that you do realize that you yourself are a very talented person. I actually think that you missed your calling as a mainstream Hollywood actress. I think a lot of women from your era in the pornographic industry missed their calling, which is very interesting that nowadays you have the mainstream Hollywood union, SAG-AFTRA, making it known that there's quite a few adult entertainers who are owed residuals. Make sure y'all go and look at pornnewstoday.com if you want to read some details about that.